Hi, it's Marina.
Hi, it's Ambre.
Today we are going to talk about Halloween, specifically the history of Halloween and its modern day Halloween celebratory practices.
Halloween today is known as a North American celebration, but in fact, its cultures and practices were introduced by Irish and Scottish immigrants in the 19th centuries.
The name of Halloween itself is a shortening of the name Halloween Evening, All Hallows Evening, or All Hallows Eve. Originally, Halloween was a Celtic festival known as Samhain. Samhain marked the end of the harvest season, the end of the summer, and the beginning of the winter. Samhain was celebrated from sunset on the 31st of October until sunset on the 1st of November. It is believed that to the Celts this day represented the new year. On this day, the Celts believed that the barrier between the world of the living and the world of the dead ceased to exist, and for 24 hours they were one and the same.
During Samhain, many people would celebrate by lighting bonfires, a practice that is still prevalent in today's celebrations. The people of the village would gather around the bonfire and make offerings to protect their families and loved ones against the hardships of the coming winter. The bonfire would then be put out. Each family would then carry an ember from the fire home to ignite their own fireplace. It's believed that putting out and relighting of the fire represents the end of the old year and the beginning of the new.
One of the most famous traditions of Halloween involves the carving and lighting of the jack-o'-lantern. In today's culture, these are often made using pumpkins. However, the Celts would have used turnips or any other root vegetable. This tradition has its roots in the transportation of the embers. The ember will be placed inside the lantern to transport back to the family house. In this way, it could also light the way home. Over time, people began to carve girlish faces into the lantern as protection against the spirits or to scare anyone who wished to harm them.
The wearing of costumes or disguises is one of the most iconic practices of Halloween. Modern costumes often add themes to scare or instill terror. This is parodied in the costumes believed to have been used by the Celts who it's believed could have dressed as either animals or spirits, so as to go unnoticed by the spirits of the dead wandering the world of the living. The people would then go house to house, asking for offerings such as food or wood to take to the communal bonfires. To celebrate Halloween in today's society, many children and families still go house to house in costumes playing trick or treat. A costume in which treats are given to children. If the child is not given a treat, he may return later to play a trick on the house. To result not making offerings to God the community was considered to bring bad luck for the family in the coming year.
The Celts had no written history of their Halloween celebration, and they would have practiced them by doing them and passing on the culture from generation to generation. In this way, the costumes have changed to signify different things over time. However, in the modern interpretations of Halloween, it is not hard to see that it is a celebration still very much connected to its Celtic origins. Now we are going to show a little inspirational video about Halloween. Thank you for listening.
It all began with the Celts, a people whose culture had spread across Europe more than 2,000 years ago. October 31st was the day they celebrated the end of the harvest season in a festival called Samhain. That night also marked the Celtic New Year and was considered a time between years, a magical time when the ghost of the dead walked the earth.
It was the time when the veil between death and life was supposed to be at its thinnest.
On Samhain, the villagers gathered and lit huge bonfires to drive the dead back to the spirit world and keep them away from the living. But as the Catholic Church's influence grew in Europe, it frowned on the pagan rituals like Samhain. In the 7th century, the Vatican began to merge it with a church-sanctioned holiday. So November 1st was designated All Saints' Day to honor martyrs and the deceased faithful.
Both of these holidays had to do with the afterlife and about survival after death. It was a calculated move on the part of the church to bring more people into the fold.
All Saints' Day was known then as Hallowmas. Hallow means holy or saintly, so the translation is roughly Mass of the Saints. The night before, October 31st, was All Hallows' Eve, which gradually morphed into Halloween. The holiday came to America with the wave of Irish immigrants during the potato famine of the 1840s. They brought several of their holiday customs with them, including bobbing for apples and playing tricks on neighbors, like removing gates from the front of houses. The young pranksters wore masks so they wouldn't be recognized. But over the years, the tradition of harmless tricks grew into outright vandalism.
Back in the 1930s, it really became a dangerous holiday. I mean, there was such hooliganism and vandalism. Trick-or-treating was originally an extortion deal. Give us candy or we'll trash your house.
Storekeepers and neighbors began giving treats or bribes to stop the tricks, and children were encouraged to travel door to door for treats as an alternative to troublemaking. By the late 30s, trick or treat became the holiday greeting.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.